Welcome to WeTaku Anime Reviews. I am your host, Jovan. My degree in Weebology is in a box somewhere around my house, like everything else, because I'm moving. But I swear I have it, and it's in mostly shonen bullshit. And with me are two of my three regular co-hosts. Can you introduce yourselves, please?
I'm Thomas, and I do not currently have a degree, I suppose.
He failed out of Weebology, actually.
I failed out of Weebology. I'm sorry. It's my bad.
I'm Allan. I'm not gonna make a joke. Not gonna make a joke about my image today because I'm gonna make a joke about my internet, and I'm sorry.
Rest in peace, internet. Rest in peace, everyone's internet. Rest in peace, life. All right, so today we are talking about an extraordinarily important show, near and dear to my heart. Movie show. Kicking off the start of our summer month of movie marathons once a week, every week. You guys get to vote on the movies. You guys voted this week on a movie in which people from around the world team up online to stop an evil that was threatening the real world by going into the digital world. You guessed it. Digimon the movie. Wait, no. No, not Digimon. Summer Wars. Summer Wars, which is not really that different.
Not really at all.
Written by the same guy, wouldn't you know?
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't know that.
So, Summer Wars is a story about Kenji, a boy who is invited to his crush's family reunion for her great-grandmother's 90th birthday, finding out that he actually has to act like her fiancé the whole time there, deciding this is somehow a bad thing, and then internet shenanigans, and then Digimon the movie. Are there any questions? Nope.
Okay.
Let's dig right in. So starting off with the story score. I gave story a 7. I love the setup. I like the situation. I like everything about this movie. But at the end of the day, like, it has been done before. It's
better.
Don't know about that, but it has been done before. It has literally been done before, almost the exact same. It's not so, I don't know, I feel like the movie's not so reliant on its plot, and that some things just kind of happen because they needed something to happen. But
things falling from the sky.
Ice. But all in all, I still found it enjoyable. I like the premise and I like this plot, even if it's been done before. So 7 out of 10.
I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. My biggest problem with it was, so the whole thing's based around the internet universe, and the internet universe that they create just doesn't make sense at all.
None.
At all. But we'll probably get more into that.
It's not how...
And just so much of the story just relies on it, so that lost a bunch of points, and some of the ways the characters reacted to each other really bothered me. So 6.5.
Alright, I gave score a 7. I gave the story a 7. I think that the story itself isn't bad. It's very simplistic, and it has been done before. Digimon movie. Pacing was alright, kinda. There were a lot of slow moments, especially when they wanted to focus on certain scenes. There would be a lot of long pauses of nothing, except for, say, a person's face. And that can get pretty boring for some people. I personally don't really get bothered by it. I prefer slower stories. And I kind of liked it. However, yeah, it could be a problem for you. whoever you are. You,
All
the
right.
viewer.
Whoever you are. You, the internet as a whole. Speaking of you, characters. Because didn't you know you too are a character in Summer Wars, as are we all. Just one of the souls being gambled. But hey, we were there. I actually give characters a pretty high score. 8.5 out of 10. I loved the cast of this movie. I really enjoyed like the diverse, crazy family. I liked the black sheep, the two black sheep actually, the internet addicted black sheep and the black sheep who took all the family's money and went to America. And suddenly it's okay. But I think the character who really sold it for me was the grandmother because she was great. Most of the characters I at least enjoyed though, even the kids, and the main character was a little bit weak, but I think it worked pretty well with like where he was in terms of backstory. He was actually a nerd, so like it's fine for him to act like a shy nerd. And I don't know. I appreciated how they acted, so 8.5.
Give characters an 8. I thought they were all distinct, and I feel like that's the biggest thing that I've noticed recently, that like they do know each of these characters and they know like how they're going to react to each situation, and so they'll present these situations however unlikely they may be, and the characters will react to them seemingly within their own bounds. And I didn't like some of the breakout moments with the characters though, and I'll get to that when I get to spoilers. So an 8 out of 10.
All right. Also, there will be kind of pauses before I speak because I am a robot and I'm trying to manage my microphone. I gave characters an 8 as well. I actually think that the characters aren't. I don't think that I would give the characters an 8 if they weren't all in the same place at the same time. I would likely give them either a 7 or a 6 individually. Main character's weak, and so is main girl. However, as a family, I would give them higher than an 8, and so it kind of balanced out to an 8. I gave more weight to them as a family mainly because, well, they are a family in this, so.
I actually really like the presentation of them as a family over as like indistinct individual characters. I think it worked well for like the movie setting, so you didn't have to go deep into each one, but you knew what they contributed.
Right.
So moving on from there, I have a 50-50 of getting this right, animation.
Correct.
Yay? Nay?
Yeah, you
Aha! I
Good
did
job.
it. Did it. All right, we have animation, which, if you'll ignore Allan's profile picture, I thought was very good.
That dog.
That dog. All right, fine. Mostly very good. The thing that stood out to me the most was the art style and the colors. We said the internet world of Oz didn't make sense, and it really doesn't, but it is gorgeous. I really loved the internet world. I loved how the real world looked and how the characters looked and moved. I loved the aesthetic for the show so much. It's done by Madhouse, who also did Girl Who Left Through Time. You might notice similarities in those two art styles. I did. But I really loved how it looked. So 9 out of 10.
While you were saying that, the director actually is the same guy who did Girl Who Left Through Time and Wolf Children and The Boy, The Monster and His Boy, or something like that. Something similar to that.
Another third one, but at least
The
he has
Beast.
a really good...
The Beast and His Boy.
He has a really good resume behind him, huh?
Yeah. So animation, I gave an 8.5 out of 5. It is beautiful. The animation is often very fluid. I like how they do their hair and the faces, especially. They're very simplistic, very thin lines everywhere. I hated the Digi World. It's beautiful, doesn't make sense. I don't know why they display the characters in the digital world the way they do, but once again, I'll get to that later. But an 8.5 for now.
Okay. I gave animation an 8. I think it was done really well, the digital world as well as the real world. And I actually very enjoyed the contrast between them because of the different art styles. Everything moved fluidly, despite my profile picture. I do actually think that kind of fits in the scene that it's in. They use CG very well. I noticed that in the digital world there is a lot of CG, but it's not too noticeable, except for
It doesn't
It's
feel bad.
appropriate.
there is one thing that is absolutely horrible, and I will get to it in the spoiler section, maybe, if I remember. But yeah, everything looks great.
That is
Allan, I
confidence.
could barely understand.
I am
That's
sorry,
great.
everybody.
He's a robot to us. He's not a robot to you guys. He's not a robot to you guys, just to us. So
Hopefully. I'm hoping I'm not a robot to you guys.
I'm trying to decipher him through static. It's
great.
crazy.
It's so great. All right, so moving on through static into sound quality. That's a segue, kids. Sound was my absolute favorite part of Summer Wars, which is weird because I didn't give it my highest score. However, I love the soundtrack. It's to the point where like I can just listen to it while I'm doing everyday activities. I've been packing up to move, and while I was packing up, I actually just had the Summer Wars soundtrack playing, and with the exception of like one or two songs that like I still think are good, just did not fit like the mood of me packing, or at least didn't like upbeat me while I was packing. I was like, oh, this is a bummer now. But the fact that it can impact my emotions like that, the fact that I love to listen to it, and I realized while I was listening to it alone that it sounds very video gamey, which is super appropriate for this movie. So, all in all, I gave the soundtrack an 8.5 out of 10. It's not like it really has an opening or ending theme, apart from like themes you actually see in the show already. I love it to death. I just feel like I have heard somewhat better soundtracks, and also the voice acting I felt, especially for the main girl, super dry. Really just for the main girl, but it was noticeable enough and she had enough scenes that I cut off like a decent bit for that. 8.5 out of 10.
I gave the sound also an 8.5 out of 10. I thought that most of the voice acting was pretty on point. I didn't notice any of the characters really sticking out as especially bad. But also I watched a bit of the dub for this one. Of what I saw only about 10 minutes. The dubbing is good. The main character, despite being a little weird sounding, after a bit starts to grow on you, and you can he actually does do a pretty good job. The sound effects are pretty good, especially in the digital world.
Yeah.
It really captures the atmosphere of like a big empty echoing place where there are billions of people held in purgatory pretty much. But
Internet
Yeah.
purgatory.
yeah, internet purgatory. And then music, as Javon said, is pretty effective at establishing the mood also. So I gave it an 8.5.
All right, Alan, what you got for us?
Alright, I didn't give sound nearly as high. I gave it a 6. And my reasoning for that is mostly background sounds and voice acting. None of the characters really did like a super stellar job at voice acting. Like, you've heard all these characters before, right? But if I were
Yeah.
to listen to them again without like any visuals, I would not really be able to tell them apart. And then the main girl and kind of the main guy, but mostly the main girl, their voice actors sound bored sometimes, like really bored. Like they just don't want to be there. And then as far as as far as sound effects go, um, while I was watching it, and I watched it with our guest from last week, Andrew, and we both kind of noticed that they used a lot of stock sounds, um, which, if you like them or if you don't, I don't really like them. So yeah, that's my reasoning.
Speaking of stock sounds, I noticed a few in quite a few other shows. The ones I noticed most are like horse sounds and most animal sounds. But I was just giving Javon time to get back before. Oh, Javon's still gone.
Yeah. One
Anyway.
that really stood out to me was like, you know that stock sound that a lot of movies use for like a gun, like that really weird. It doesn't actually sound like a gun.
Like the clicking sound.
No, not the clicking sound. It's like, it's more prevalent in like older movies. It's like, I don't know how to describe it other than like banging on tin foil or whatever, or not foil, like a banging on
Bang bang.
banging on like a tin, or a metal like container.
I know the noise you're talking about.
Okay.
I know
Yeah.
the noise you're talking about, like Tom and Jerry guns.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry guns.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I noticed that, and like
Alright.
that was really distracting to me.
Yeah.
During which part?
It was during the
Near the
final
end?
fight. It wasn't actually a gun,
Okay.
Yeah.
but it was there.
It was the same noise, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, with all that in mind, we'll be heading into the spoiler section. Now, if you don't want us to spoil the show for you, then leave now. The VOD will be up on YouTube. So, you guys can just go, come back, watch the rest. But until then, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spoilers are on. And as always, we start off with one question. The most important question you could ever be asked: who was best girl?
Not the main girl.
I liked
No.
the main bad guy, the AI guy, just because of how he looked. But I mean, if it wasn't just based off how they look, then the guy who actually created the AI, I liked him. Black Sheep dude.
Yeah, Black Sheep dude.
My
Why
Bootsune or
why
something?
boots? Okay,
Like Bootsune.
Bisuke.
something like that.
I liked him.
That was close. Yeah, he was actually really great. Alan, who's your pick?
I'm not actually sure. It's between the grandmother and I'd say the fisherman guy.
Squid, everything squid.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
That
guy
was
was
funny.
great.
And then he turns out to be the Squid Ninja in the end.
Oh yeah, I know. It was
He
so
had
good.
a nice boat.
For me, wait, what did he have?
A very nice boat.
He had a very nice boat.
That
Came
he
in
was
handy.
just willing to just throw away.
I mean, you kind of have to. It's that or your family gets bombed out of existence.
He didn't know that at the time, did he?
Yeah, I feel like he just trusted the family. I like
Trusted this random kid who wasn't even in the family.
Technically, fiance is almost part of the family.
He wasn't a fiance. You
Yeah,
knew
they
that
knew
by
that he wasn't the
point.
fiance at that
Shush.
point.
Details. No, for me, best girl is like Thomas. I kind of wanted to give it to an inanimate object first. I wanted to give it to the game Koi Koi, which, by the way, I learned how to play after watching Summer Wars for the first time and bought a set and everything. It's actually really fun. It has a different name, but I don't remember what it is.
It's Hanafuda.
Good, thank you. So that's really great, but I cannot choose a game as best girl, I don't think. So it's probably gonna have to go to the grandmother because I just really like that kind of character. It's like kind of a trope in a lot of anime, the like old crotchety Japanese woman who's like super strong and has a heart of gold, but is also very like rude. I love that trope of old Japanese lady. Thank you, old Japanese lady.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing, except for the fact that she dies. That was It was actually unexpected. I didn't expect them to kill her in the movie.
I thought it was appropriate though. I liked it.
Very appropriate. Yeah.
And then, what was the police officer guy's name? Like Tofa or something like that?
Shota,
I
I
thought-
think.
Shota. If it weren't for him, they would have still had a house. Because he moved all the ice from the server, or from the... Was it a computer or a server?
Computer.
Okay.
They made a supercomputer, basically.
Okay, and then...
God, the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shota goofed up there. But I really loved like what they did with all of that, because like he couldn't have known better. He wanted to, preserve the body of his dead grandmother, which is like fair, but at the same time you're just like, this did not need to happen. That was one of the plot points I didn't actually really like, just because it felt like it happened for no reason. Yeah.
But along those same lines, with the people not totally understanding the technology, I really liked how almost the entire family like did not use it that like as much as like you see the main cast use it, and so it actually near the end, close to the end, has it takes away parts and shows you like the people grieving still over the grandmother who has died, and so they're trying to figure out what flowers, how to bury her, or cremate her. I don't remember which one they want to do, and like just prepare her going away as a ceremony correctly, while these people are like, this is the issue right now. Yeah, like they're like, the issue, like you can't see it, it's intangible, but like it's there and it's very real because a satellite's gonna fall down and hit us.
Yeah.
But I just like the disconnect there. I thought they did a very good job displaying that, and that's that went into my animation score.
Talking about the final stretch, I loved the final stretch for this movie. Just the the intensity in one half, and then like just cutting randomly to like, it was a lot of the women in the family there too, just talking about how are we gonna do the funeral? What's going to happen now? And then just cuts back to like super intense bunny guy fighting a weird like anti-humanity robot, and then suddenly you're playing cards, and it's just the greatest thing.
And the aunt like rooting for, I think it was her son that was on the baseball team.
Yeah. Just the baseball team thing that kept happening, and the fact that the entire fate of the world rested on like one girl's ability to win a card game. I enjoyed that.
Okay, can we talk a bit about the Digiverse right now?
All right, let's bring it up.
One of them was on a DS. I'm just gonna point that out there. The fisherman guy was on a DS playing that.
Yep.
So what they wanted was this universal,
like everyone. This is what the internet is for everyone.
Yeah, it's like their alternate internet, I guess. Like it's an alternate reality, I suppose. But the problem for me felt that it was just too. It was trying too hard to be like real. This is what Japan doesn't matter. And then we have this very real feeling internet, but it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like it could ever be any amount of possible. And I don't know what they're doing on their computer in order for their characters to bleed and hurt, and then for them to do fucking roundhouse kicks, and the guy next door can't do a roundhouse kick because he hasn't worked out outside. Like, how does your real life correlate to online?
All right, so
lessons. How does real life correlate to online? Don't be a jackass online. Don't be a jackass in real life.
Right,
just a PSA.
PSA, life lessons to Thomas. That's the whole point of this podcast, actually. We deliver it and we're done. No, for me, like having read things like, Ready Player One. Oz reminds me a lot of The World There, though I think The World There was done better. But after having read The World There and watching Summer Wars, some of the things I think that the movie didn't explain very well still made sense. In that, like, this is just their version of the internet. Like, everybody has an avatar, which isn't that weird, honestly. It's just the fact that, like, your real-life skills translate and likes and dislikes. I kind of feel like that the people and characters just, like, base them off themselves, maybe. I'm not 100% sure there. No, you're right. It doesn't like make a lot of sense. Also, the fact that literally everything is connected and like nukes were being dropped and it could track down their house and like aim the satellite. That's not a thing. But hey,
The moment you put the sewer system be able to be activated through the internet by someone like in Seattle for Charlotte, like that is an issue, and that should never happen.
that's probably a problem. It's the
Yeah.
dangers of the internet.
I just want to point
No,
out
but
that
I think we have to display, or you have to. Yep.
I feel like no one could actually like de-encrypt those codes like that fast. Like it's insane.
No, but he was a math whiz.
Yeah, that's why his nose bled.
Now he's a math whiz though.
And I like that they were like, you got it wrong because you misspelled change. Like, because you spelled CHANGQ instead of E.
I actually like that a lot because it's like, oh god, he's actually stressed in this situation and made a mistake. I mean, like, sure, he has ungodly math powers
Right.
that don't make sense, but like,
I'm sure, like, that wouldn't take him off the list of people, like, that got it, because he obviously got it. If someone looks at it, they're like, oh, he obviously meant to type an E. Let me write the E. Oh, look, I broke into the
no, but I don't think it was a
database.
person. It looked like it was just a rogue program, wasn't it? So if
Oh,
you
that's
get the
right.
code wrong, then you get the code wrong. I don't think it checks how close.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Also, oh my god, it just slipped my mind. Sorry.
All right, while you're doing that, I want to talk about the fact that like I think you do have to. They're trying to make this realistic world, but because of all the things that happen in it, I kind of went into it like I watch a lot of my shonen stuff, a lot of my like crazy nonsense shows. I kind of just went in, suspended all of my disbelief, and said, "All right, you know what? I'm just gonna take what this movie throws at me, and I'm gonna see if I enjoy it or not." Right? And like, yes, his math is super unbelievable to like the extent that that's essentially just a superpower. Yes, their internet like does not make sense in the slightest, and I have stated multiple times, like outside this podcast, talking about Summer Wars, this movie makes no sense at all. But like, at the end of the day, you know what they're saying, you know like what the plot is. Sure, like some of the points feel a little like it's here because we wanted it to be there. But I don't know. Like, given the world that they gave me, I don't see it as a part of our world, but as its own world. And it helps me, like, I don't know, I still really enjoyed what they gave me.
The part was difficult for me because it just felt too, like, I mean, it just feels like too much like real Japan. I mean, not that I've been there, but like, what I've
Yeah,
seen of it.
no. It was supposed to be based off of it, too.
Yeah, and I don't know, too much of it felt a little disjointed. Also, they didn't do a good job displaying what the people were actually doing on their computers.
I don't think they wanted to.
I know,
the
but
fighting game was
that
like
bothered me a
ridiculous.
little bit. It didn't. Yeah, but it didn't like
Yeah.
fully explain the universe in that respect, and that's probably why it bugs me so much.
I would have loved to see
Also-
Summer Wars as a book, I think.
Also, getting the code to hack into the I mean, at least to get the encryption into to the login. If
Oh.
this is connected to everything and you log in wrong and it gives you the encrypted code, why would it give you the encrypted code? It's inviting you to decrypt it for it.
Listen, I like to think that they're just a very trusting society of internet users.
But like that was the only reason he was able to
Yeah.
do anything, because it gave him that. So that bothered me a little bit.
No, I have no answer. But the movie does have its flaws.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about, because none of us listed him as best girl. And I almost wanted to. The other black sheep of the family, not the government worker dude who left the family, but the
awkward
internet
kid that
using
looks like a
geek kid.
girl.
Yeah, that one.
I didn't actually
love
think
him.
He doesn't know how to
He-
play a fighting game.
He's exactly like how I imagine most people online.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
Exactly.
He reminded me of one of my cousins that is just like he's a bit toxic on the internet. I try not to associate with him, but he reminded me a lot of him, and I bet this kid is as toxic as my cousin.
He is
like,
online.
He
I
looks
believe it,
like
yeah.
he's a scrapper. Like he's going to be like, "Oh, you brought down the team, man." Like he never takes responsibility. But anyway, he looked like a real person that would be as popular as he is in this universe.
He felt great, especially in like this is a universe where the internet like has a lot of impact on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
He is that guy.
Yeah.
He is that guy who's just on the internet. But I also liked him because like when push came to shove, he was like, "Oh man, this is my family too. Grumble, grumble. Time to try to save the day.
Time to put a blonde wig on my avatar."
Ah, who am I? You don't know.
Like, why did he do that?
Listen, even in times of crisis, it's never too late for cosmetic changes.
Speaking of avatars, like, some of their avatars were absolutely awful. I don't know why you would ever design the
I
avatars
know.
like
loved
that.
all of them.
World. Yeah, the introductory avatar too, the one that's like giving you the overview of the world. I was like, what is this? This looks terrible.
And then some of the little like the really small ones are the ones that confuse me. Like if you look on our overlay, like just all around our cameras, you'll see a lot of the little ones just sitting around, and you just kind of have to wonder like, why is this happening? Who made you? Why is somebody's like entire identity on the internet that small like greenish sludge thing? But you know, or like a very skinny, awkward tanuki looking thing. Like a lot of the avatars looked weird. But I really liked the variety.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be an awkward little sludge thing if I had an avatar on here.
All right. See, there's all types of people. But speaking of avatars, it reminds me of how do we feel about the internet god whales?
I thought they were cool. It didn't make sense.
I thought they were admins. Like, I thought they were just admins.
They weren't.
No, they were AI.
They were AI.
Discussed it. They were the
god
security
AI.
AI. Yeah. Pretty much admins. They're kind of like the GMs, but
Yeah, except you know, internet.
yeah.
I loved them. I just loved the fact because like if you're gonna have an evil AI like taking over the whole thing, I like the idea that like the rest of the AI isn't just gonna keel over. This is taking a lot of assumptions with the world.
Did the pink one die? I think the pink one died like halfway through and then came back, right? Okay.
Came back though.
Because I was thinking like it wouldn't really make sense for the rogue AI to not destroy the security.
Yeah, he went for them at first, but it didn't matter in the end. But I really liked the idea that like in this world where the internet is kind of fighting you, the internet, like the evil internet's fighting against people. If we're gonna take this movie to be like talking about the internet to some extent, I kind of like the fact that the internet also fought back against the internet. Also, they're security god whales, and I can't complain about security god whales ever. The fact that I can say the phrase security god whales makes me so happy.
They helped Natsuki digivolve to her final form.
They to the final form of Kokoi.
Yeah, gave her the super rare garment. I was just thinking in my head, I was like, if this is ultra rare, that means it's just like 0.01% of all people have this, and out of the 1.3 billion people they have, that's a good 100,000 people or so that, or 10,000.
No, there's only
people
150 million. On the
It said that there were 412 million accounts, and that was only 32% of them.
All right. I didn't do the math. Never mind. I think the final hand was 150 million. Now that I think about it.
Okay. And then, so I don't like that. I mean, it makes sense within her character, but the grandmother, when she sees he is like, "Hey, grandmother, look at all this awesome shit I did just for you. I did it all for you." And she's like, "You took my money. And this is what you did. You like got all the you just pretty much destroyed the infrastructure of Japan." And like he's like, he had nothing to do with it. He made this great thing, sold it to the U.S. military, and was bringing back hundreds of millions of yen, I imagine. And she just like attacks him with with what are the spear type things
Yeah.
they're called? Like, come on. Like, he
It
did
fits her
nothing wrong.
character.
He wasn't even
definitely
he
fits
wasn't
her
even the
character.
one that cheated on her. Or wasn't it the grandfather that cheated
Yeah,
on
it was
her? Or
Grandfather
something?
cheated on her, yeah.
Yeah, and then that bothered me a lot. And then the fact that she wrote in her little thing to be nice to him, and she wasn't nice to him when she said to be, like, that is so hypocritical. And that bothered me a lot.
I feel that it fit her really well, though.
A hypocrite.
Not just being a hypocrite. I don't think she was as mad as, like, I don't know. I cannot take her seriously when she's, like, trying to kill him with the spear.
Can't take
Like-
that'd be terrifying.
But, like,
She obviously knows how to use it. Did you see her like whipping it around?
oh, no, yeah,
She
she was ready. Yeah, no, she was ready. She was ready to throw down. But, like,
Her father was probably like the last samurai.
no, but, like, if I was legitimately furious with a family member, I wouldn't be trying to kill them with a spear. I wouldn't want to talk to them at all. This felt more of like a, yeah, sure, you did this good stuff, but you also goofed up and you can't avoid that, sir. So, like, it felt more like I'm teaching you to grow up, kid. Even though the kid is like 40 or 50 or whatever. But, like, she's 90, everyone's a kid to
It
her.
was like 25 to 30.
25 to 30?
That's what it
I
felt
thought
like
it was
to
a
me.
little bit older than that. But,
He was
Either
a
way.
professor, so
yeah, I thought he was like 40s. But either way, it felt like she was just trying to, like, it's like when you slap a kid's hand, like he tried to do something good for you, but like he ended up messing up.
With the spear.
She didn't kill him, did she?
she was about
I'm
to.
sure she could have if
This
she really wanted
Is
to.
like, I don't know. You're pointing a weapon at someone. You don't point a weapon at someone unless you mean to do something with it. Also,
took it
life
as,
lesson
like-
to viewers.
We are all about the good decision making today, except for the fact that I still strongly stand behind the fact that I think she was doing it to teach him, and I'm totally okay with spear use in terms of that, apparently.
Okay, well, for the record, I'm not, but I
Javon.
take your point.
Javon, remind me never to have you teach me anything.
No, you will remember my lessons, sir. You will remember
And
them.
that's why the rook can exchange places with the king. You learn it. You got it.
Oh man, I should be. Yeah, that'd be great. Chess. Chess is my true calling. I should teach Koi Koi at Spear Point, actually. Except I'm actually really bad. But the game itself, the games, I guess. I don't. Like I said before, the soundtrack really reminded me of a video game soundtrack, which is fitting.
Mhm.
But at the same time, the internet world with its games, I enjoyed that it wasn't just games.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like just games. It felt like the games were like in one section of that like weird AI world, and I really, really hope you can fast travel. Otherwise, like checking your emails while alt-tabbed from a game is probably really hard. But
Can I say something?
yeah. You put your up. I was waiting.
With that with the more than just games fact, they like showed all these buildings for like businesses, and it just got me thinking, like, what, like, in this world of theirs would that look like? So I imagine, like, you got, like, when you get fired from said establishment that you work at, right, they have like this entire virtual building, and so you have to log on to your computer and get your avatar to pack up his little box of things from his office that he decorated himself. That's like, it can probably be beautiful, and you have to like walk through all the little cubicles of people who also like are just avatars within this world, and just like watch each of their like disapproving glares as you like walk down, and you just wish you didn't embezzle all that money from the company. But
Press F to pay respects.
yeah, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting that they have like the actual buildings
Yeah.
in it.
I mean, hey, I
And-
guess working from home's pretty easy now.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what the
if you can
main
have
character and his friend was
this
doing.
office
so.
online, how much would you?
That's true.
The fighting scenes pulled me out, and I'm going to link this. It pulled me out because I feel like to have like these offices and stuff, it doesn't really make sense unless it's in VR. Like, if this at least had some point of putting yourself into it, the fighting scenes would make so much more sense. Almost the entire thing would make more sense. Like, in any way, put yourself in it. Like, have gloves that you're able to, like interact with the environment. Like, I don't care. The headset is, like, the bare minimum I ask for, but it's not. It's all keys on a computer, and these people are, like, crying because these characters are getting, like, launched through walls and bleeding.
I feel like they might be crying because the world's hopes rest there, and also people get really into games. People get really into competitive gaming. This was the most competitive game, if you want to look at it like that.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I think VR would have suited this movie so much better. The problem is, no, I disagree, actually. I thought that for a second, but thinking about it, the disjoint between people who, like, really, really understood the world and those who didn't wouldn't work with VR. Because half the time people were, like, looking over the kids' shoulders while things were happening, or, like, just watching them do it and, like, cheering them on, but, like, not quite understanding what's going on.
Well, I'm saying, like,
I liked those interactions. You can't really do that with VR unless it's connected to a TV, and then it just feels like you're voicing the point.
I mean, most VR is connected to TVs now, but I guess this came out a little bit before we
had VR, yeah.
True, VR.
Now we have it, so
yeah,
you make a good point.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, that's only happened in the past, like, 2 years.
Yeah, can we talk about that? We have VR.
Yeah, that's
really
awesome.
exciting. Okay,
I would
yeah,
love
but
to have not an Oculus, but the other one, the
I think
Vive.
yeah, I like the Vive better too. But I think the idea was when this movie was made, VR was not as, like, a commonplace thing as we have it now, which is still a really cool sentence to say. But I think that before then, all anime uses of VR have been, like, Sword Art Online-esque. Never was it, like, connected to a TV or anything. So now we know we actually do that. But to be fair, they wouldn't have.
At the end, with main character girl's avatar, was that a reference to Wolf Children with how she looks? Because
Yes.
she's got some very clear wolf ears.
I think it was a
not
little bit of a reference.
Did this come out after?
This came out after, I believe.
This came out 2009. I'd just like to point that out.
It's a little bit older though, isn't it? Let's check.
I don't know.
Wolf Children. 2012. No, I was
2012.
wrong. No, it was not.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
wrong. It was not. I assumed it was. Never make assumptions, kids. That's PSA number 3.
Or 4 or 5, whatever we're
Listen,
on.
we are trying to help you guys become better people. Just accept us into your lives, please.
Drink lots of water.
Alright. But, I was wrong there. I actually liked what her final form avatar looks like. Her final digivolution, if you will. It just seemed very sophisticated-y. Little Digimon, yeah. But a lot of Digimon, actually. Like, it looks like a final stage Digimon. You're not actually wrong. Like the humanoid ones.
Now that I think about it, I think it was a reverse color of the yukata her grandmother gave her for being
If this is true, my animation score goes up.
for being so, like, the one her grandmother gave her was navy with white flowers, and I think the full evolution thing was white with blue flowers. Was it not? I could be wrong.
It was white. There are no blue flowers except for... No, it's red with white flowers underneath the overcoat with a blue and red sash and giant gold wings. No, it's unfortunately not a...
I think you're forgetting the
Doesn't have to
giant
do-
glowing wings.
I mentioned the giant glowing wings.
I don't think you did.
Never mind, I did. I
Anyway,
said it in
cool.
my head.
They look cool. I mean, she looks awesome. Yeah.
No, she looks
awesome.
great. I love that design. I loved her final form there.
Wait,
I also
just,
love the fact that, like...
I just want to know if she got to keep that item, and if that's her avatar from now on. Because she can make a killing off
I like to think that
gambling.
she does. Oh yeah, no, for real. I think it's a one-time probably. I feel like the whale admins afterwards were like, okay, we're taking it back, but thanks for saving the world.
Oh no, I feel like she got that forever.
Oh, she just, like, walks around the world like, hey, I'm your god now. Hello.
Well, I mean, do you see some of the things that the guys have? Like, there was that jacked up guy with, like, the I don't care. Whatever. They all looked decently crazy enough within their
Yeah,
own
but,
rights.
like,
I think.
I think hers is like an actual symbol of status, internet status.
I mean, yeah, that would have been like a revolutionary moment for the internet. I think.
Yeah. But hey, I also really liked the fact that, and this is like a super minor point and a little bit off of what we've been talking about, but I liked the fact that once they like diverted the satellite, quote unquote, it wasn't just like, and now it's gone forever.
Yeah, they were like, it's still gonna hit right next to us.
It's like, well, we have diverted it at the last possible second. It's still going to hit us, just not quite us. Goodbye, the front gate and the fountain.
And half the house.
And half
that
of
wasn't
the house.
already destroyed by the crane and
What's
the.
their... They talked about
It's been a rough day for them.
They talked about neighbors. Did it land on a neighbor?
Yeah, they did. Oh, they said that they. They said that they cleared him out.
Yeah.
They warned that they were going to, or they said they were warning him.
Also, the idea of neighbors in that huge estate does not like bode well with me. I feel like they had so much land and such a big estate that like the closest neighbors were still probably a decent bit away.
I mean, there are mansions within.
Yeah, I know there are.
Lots
It's just whenever you see estates like that, it feels like a lot of land should match it. That's just my opinion, though.
Neighbor houses.
Rest in peace, neighbor houses, and the front gate and half the house.
Okay, sorry. So I want to talk about my favorite scene. Well, first, I think it'd be more prudent to ask, what are your favorite scenes from the movie?
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear what yours is. This is more important now.
I liked the grandmother on the phone. I thought that was the coolest thing. Like, bringing it all back to, like, half a century ago. This is how you talk to everybody. And I feel like that was definitely something they wanted to point at in the movie.
Yeah.
And it, the first time I watched it, I got goosebumps at that point. I thought, I was like, whoa, Grandmama's got some skills. But
Grandmama's got some contacts.
Right?
Like, oh
yeah,
my
she
god,
like, talks
that's
to so many people.
Yeah, they mentioned at the beginning of the movie, it's like, every New Year's she gets cards from, like, the most important people, and we're just, I guess that's happening.
The police commissioner of Metro Japan, Metro Tokyo.
Yup. Go big or go home. No,
She
I
was
loved
apparently a
that
teacher
scene.
at some point.
That could have been how she got to be so popular.
That's true. I really loved the power she showed in that scene. My favorite scene is the entire final stretch. I don't know if I can choose like a favorite moment. If I did, it's probably during Koi Koi, where like everybody on the entire internet is just yelling Koi Koi
That
at
German
the same
boy.
time.
You can
The
have
German boy
my
was my
avatar.
favorite.
My avatar. All right, yes.
The German
That's
boy
great.
was definitely my favorite. I'm pretty sure that's like the
German
like,
boy's best
stock
girl. We've confirmed.
avatar. Like if you just don't want to choose one yourself, that's what you get. But
Right? It was just like this plain two-dimensional like
Flat.
bathroom like this is boy's room and just looked like boy symbol. Hey,
Oh.
you can have me. Oh, great! I get this two-dimensional like paper cutout. Woo!
Now I'm strong. No, but I really love those moments in anything where it's like everyone bands together and then like it's just super exciting and pumped up after the last moment. And like you know it's gonna happen. You always know it's gonna happen, but like it's still just so I think it's really cool.
But yeah, I would have felt that, but just for some reason, this movie just keeps pulling me out of it because I just keep imagining what they see on their screen is just like a couple lines of text and like moving dots going across the screen. I'm like, yeah, and it's just like Tetris.
I imagine everybody is connected to microphones.
No, I don't even think that's true. I think they type everything. Yeah, they do type everything. It has all the flow map or the word maps.
But didn't Cosmo like yell,
That
"Don't
kind of
you
makes
dare
movie
do
better in my
that!"
head.
Like at the end in
Yeah.
the virtual world?
I think I feel like you have the options of both. Yeah, but in the virtual world,
So how public is this chat room though?
I think it's extraordinarily public, as in
Yeah,
the entire
but
internet was there. The literal entire internet was in this chat room.
How do you give someone your account? Hey, my avatar walked up to you. Here's my account and password and my IP address, as well as my social security number and my bank account number and my PIN number. And
how do you vet accounts?
Through space whales.
I mean, you probably ban them from like certain aspects of it, but just the fact that you give them your entire account that is like your life.
Yeah, it was a big deal. I try not to think too hard, and I enjoyed this movie a lot.
Okay, yeah.
No.
It's a simpler movie. It's a lot more enjoyable than I'm probably making it out to be. I liked it.
It's a simple movie, but yeah, you're right. If you think too hard about it, the entire thing kind of collapses.
Now, I haven't seen The Beast and His Boy, but the other two movies that this director's done, Wolf Children and Girl Who Left Through Time, I thought were much better. Much better than both of this.
Also, it does share the writer with Digimon the movie, so if you see parallels there, I think we said that at the beginning, but I'm going to point it out one more time, because you will see so many parallels. It's almost the same. But I think they had different styles. Digimon was more fighty, Digimon shonen-y. This was more of a slower kind of, slower paced, more real-life drama, I think, with a few fight scenes inside. I personally prefer Summer Wars. So, with all that in mind, are we ready to go to final thoughts?
Yes.
All right. So, my final score for Summer Wars was a 9 out of 10, which is as high as my highest score and higher than most of them, because I think this movie is more than the sum of its parts, which is weird to say about a movie where it's like super simple, and I've said you have to kind of turn off your brain to enjoy it to its fullest. I love the charm. I think the word I want to use here is charm of this movie. It's charming, it's lovable. I think it like sucks you in, and at least for me, I didn't think like, oh, how's this happening when they're on a screen and they're typing? Because when I'm watching the movie, I'm there, and I'm like, I feel like I get sucked into the internet, which is what it wanted. And that like, oh, I'm out there and now I'm in here. I didn't think too hard about like the exact details and in CinemaSins it. I just kind of, oh, this is the best. Oh, they're in here. Oh, the trauma. Oh, we're out here. Koi koi, koi koi. I don't know. That is probably the greatest sentence I've ever stated in terms of reviewing something. But I loved it. I loved the charm. I think it was simple. I think it was gorgeous. I think the soundtrack was great. And I really loved how the characters carried that story through. So that's a 9 out of 10 and a definite recommendation with a caveat. You should probably also watch Digimon the movie. Really, like, watch both. I know this isn't a review of Digimon the movie, but they're the same movie. And you might like one more than the other, and I would like for all of our viewers to just be able to choose for themselves, because it's a very important choice to make.
All right. I gave it an 8 out of 10. That is, just like Jovan, that is about the same as my highest scores. And I also think that everything combined together is much better than like its parts. It's better. Speaking. I think that it's a very enjoyable, family-oriented, sort of simplistic movie that most people would probably like. That's a statement. If you tend to like more actiony things, I would suggest the Digimon movie, which is called Our War Game, by the way. It is, I think, either the second or third one. I actually looked this up beforehand, so to make sure that I could say it.
Because I just thought it was just the Digimon movie.
It is actually the second one, because the first one has a big Digimon in Tokyo. So yeah, 8 out of 10 would recommend.
All right. I gave it also an 8 out of 10. I think it was very enjoyable. the director, I think, has done better things. And
So is the writer, technically, if you're on the Digimon side, but hey.
yeah, so I mean, watch those first. If you've watched all of those, and you still haven't seen this movie, go for it. Sure, why not? I'd recommend it if you just want a simple, fun, well animated movie.
I think this movie, to me, emphasizes what summer is about. Just kind of like kicking back, you have your friends and family with you, and like it just feels like a really easy movie to watch with anyone.
So what's going on next week, Jovan?
Oh, next week, you say? Well, if you weren't aware, because I think I've only mentioned it twice so far, this is our summer movie marathon month. And that's hard to say every single time.
Triple M, yo.
However, speaking of things that emphasize summer, the Triple M, yo, we are each week choosing, but each of us chooses 2 movies. These 2 movies, Summer Wars was the vote that went out for me. And you guys, if you hop to your Twitters, follow me on WeTaku Jovan to find the poll. Little self-plug there. You guys get to vote on what movies there are. This week, coming up, next Monday, are Allan's 2 choices. Allan, you want to tell the nice folks what they're voting for and what they're about?
Okay, my 2 choices are both by Makoto Shinkai. You have the choice between 5 centimeters per second, that I don't really know how to describe it other than a guy and a girl meet.
Sad.
And then life happens. And Garden of Words, which, you know, that could actually apply to that as well. That description.
A guy and a girl meet and life happens. Alright, so you have the choice between those 2.
I chose these mainly because... Oh, okay. Yeah. I chose these mainly because I really enjoy them. I mean, obviously, I think they're some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen as far as animation goes. One of which I would say is my 10 out of 10 example of animation. Yeah.
Find out which. Tune in next week.
Yeah.
All right. So your choices are once more 5 centimeters per second and Garden of Words. I got that right? I got that right. Hype.
There is a literal garden in it, by the way.
I'm really hoping words grow on trees. I haven't seen either of these movies to their completion. I watched the first half of 5 centimeters, and I haven't seen...
The first half?
I got bummed out and stopped. And I've never even heard of Garden of Words before these guys told me about it. So either way, I think I'm in for a good/sad time. There are a lot of words is what I'm going to get out of there.
The main thing is they are stunningly beautiful.
All right. Both of those shows I have heard are stunningly beautiful, mostly from you guys, though. So those will be our options for next week's summer movie marathon. I feel like I missed an M there. Month. There we go. Summer movie marathon month. Where we just kick back and enjoy the summer. So coming up on our channel is that. Currently, I am moving and going through a lot. I've also just been certified as a teacher, so hey. But that means life is really busy, so it's been hard for me to meet up with anybody or like record Let's Play videos or anything like that. So we're going to have to ask you guys to hold just a little bit longer for that. I swear they are coming one day. Soon.tm. Other than that, you can always find us on WeTaku.com. Not WeTaku.com. We don't have one of those. YouTube.com.
We don't have WeTaku.com.
WeTaku.com is not taken. Somebody wants to buy us that domain, though. Go for it. YouTube.com/WeTaku and Twitch.tv/WeTaku. Wait, what now?
We may have.
Yeah, we actually made that mistake when linking the podcast before. We fixed it. It's fine. Nobody noticed. We're good. But yeah, Twitch.tv/WeTaku, YouTube.com/WeTaku. I hope you guys will catch us there, and I hope you'll enjoy the podcast. See you around.
If you're watching on YouTube, all links are in the description. Bye-bye.